Good evening, I'm Bo Williams and welcome to the 7. Let's get a look at the big 7 stories happening right now. Topping the list for us, members of the community coming together tonight for a town hall dealing with the future of Chilhowee Park. Now, this town hall comes on the heels of a city council meeting last week where local leaders delayed a vote on transferring land to the Emerald Youth Foundation. This after the community appeared to be split on the issue. Now, some people in the area say even if they follow through, they could be taking away from public land, while others say transforming the land could mean economic development. Overall, community members want more information, and that's what they'll be getting tonight.
Based on a lot of the feedback that we heard when the RFP came before council around Emerald, it was obvious that there was a lot of confusion, a lot of people who had not heard about the process, and so I felt that it was important to slow that process down and to have an opportunity for people to hear more about how this came about, how we got here, and what's being proposed.
Now, again, this meeting is currently underway. The city is also going over the process on what will be done if approved, and we're going to have a full recap for you with the big takeaways. That's going to be tonight at 11 o'clock. All right, next on the 7 for you, continuing our coverage on an East Tennessee community pushing back against plans to build a landfill. The Scott County Solid Waste Board voted today to send a letter to the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. The letter states that the county does not need an additional landfill as the existing volunteer landfill meets the county's needs at this time. Now, this is a win for the group of residents that have been pushing against the landfill, citing its proximity to Winfield Elementary and potential environmental concerns. The company behind the landfill had a permit approved for the project back in 2010, but is now in the process of getting it recertified.
We hope that this is enough information that the TDEC Commission will take into consideration our needs today and not what was issued in 15 years ago.
Volunteer landfill has used less than 4% of its property so far. Next on the 7 for you tonight, there has been a wave of false threats hitting college campuses across the country, and today the threats hit close to home at the University of Tennessee. There was a report of a person with a weapon at Hodges Library at UT, but police say they could not find anything. Now, officers reviewed cameras and searched the building as a precaution. No threat was found and no injuries were reported. This comes amid a wave of hoax alerts on campuses. Just today, the University of Arkansas and Iowa State University had false active shooter threats on campus. UT Chattanooga went into lockdown after a threat on Thursday of last week and later gave the all clear. There was a hoax bomb threat at the University School of Nashville last week as well. The University of South Carolina issued an all clear yesterday after an unconfirmed report. And in just 4 days, Villanova University has had 2 false active shooter calls. Officials urging students now to follow alerts, report credible information, and avoid spreading rumors. Next on the 7 for you, a convicted murderer on Tennessee's death row has now pleaded guilty to child rape in Oak Ridge. In addition to pleading guilty to rape of a child, Sean Finnegan has pleaded guilty to 13 counts of especially aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor. Finnegan was sentenced to death after being convicted last year of killing Jennifer Paxton. Her body was discovered in an Oak Ridge home back in 2020. At one point, it had even been stored in a freezer. Now, prosecutors say Paxton was lured into the home with the promise of a place to stay in 2019. Now, Finnegan's co-defendant, Rebecca Dishman, taking a plea deal before the murder trial even started. It involved the murder case as well as a separate case dealing with the rape of 2 children. District Attorney General Dave Clark says, quote, today's plea recognizes the additional crime Sean Finnegan and Rebecca Dishman committed against these young victims. He goes on to say they deserve justice just as Jennifer Paxton did, end quote. After pleading guilty to child sex crimes, Finnegan was handed a 50-year sentence without the possibility of parole. We're told this sentence will run consecutively with his death penalty sentence. Next on the 7 tonight, staff and students at Friendsville Elementary hosted a welcome home for Principal Stan Painter. Days after being placed on suspension, Painter was cleared of any wrongdoing. The investigation stemmed from allegations of misconduct during the 2023-24 school year.
Community really wanted to just stick together and instead of getting upset about the situation, there's hurt people in the world, and hurt people sometimes, try to do things, and it's not about any of that. It was really just about being a positive. Everybody knows Stan, loves Stan.
Investigators determined that the allegations were not substantiated based on surveillance footage, witness interviews, and a review of records. A Madisonville man has now been arrested in connection with a child sex crimes investigation. Police saying they found that he was in possession of child porn. Now, Madisonville police say they began investigating 34-year-old Jamie Hughes after getting a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The Monroe County grand jury indicted him on one count of sexual exploitation of a minor back in February. Hughes has been booked into the Monroe County Justice Center on a $100,000 bond. Well, tonight we are learning repairs on Newfound Gap Road through the Great Smoky Mountains National Park are expected to be complete by the end of September. A landslide on the Tennessee side of the park back in the beginning of the month prompted the road to close. Now, we're told the affected area is around 125 feet long. Meanwhile, the National Park Service is saying a contract for repairs has just been awarded to Eclipse companies. And we are your local election headquarters, and Election Day for the City of Knoxville primary is coming up tomorrow. 5 city council races are on the ballot, and your vote will help determine which direction the city takes over the next 4 years. The Knox County Election Commission says only around 7% of eligible voters have cast a ballot as of the end of early voting, meaning about 77,000 people have not voted. Now, Election Day is coming up, as we mentioned, tomorrow. Polls will be open from 8 in the morning until 8 at night. Just keep in mind that unlike in early voting, you will need to vote at your assigned precinct. And for a list of voting locations, just look for this story on your website at wate.com.